Welcome, everyone. I'm Sue Barber, author, former IT director for a Fortune 500 company, turned executive coach, and this is the Visibility Factor podcast, where we explore how to raise your visibility and play bigger at work and in life. We'll explore key topics and welcome guests that help you shift your thinking about yourself so you can see new possibilities for your leadership. I'm on a mission to create a visibility movement for leaders to show their value and be seen for their true talent. Are you ready to take the next step towards a higher level of visibility for yourself? Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Visibility Factor podcast. This is Sue Barber, your host. I wanted to give you just a quick update on the workbook that's coming out on October 28th. It's just 13 short days away on the day that I'm recording this, and I'm excited to get it out in front of everybody so that you can start using it. There will be different webinars and podcasts coming out around the time of the launch, some a few days after the launch. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for you to see it. So stay tuned. If you haven't heard much about it yet, check out LinkedIn and also my website on susanmbarber.com, and you can see the Your Journey to Visibility workbook, a tab at the top of the screen, and it has all kinds of great stuff on there for you to start to learn more about the workbook. I hope you will look at it. I hope you'll buy it. I hope you will use it. That's really the goal, is for you to use it. I wanted to spend time talking to you today about career transitions. I have openly talked about my own challenges with some of that throughout my career, because there's opportunities that you take that might feel out of your comfort zone, and our minds try to get us back into our comfort zone whenever something feels uncomfortable. So let's just explore what these different transitions look like and what it can feel like for the leader who's going through it. The first one is always individual contributor to manager. And as you know, individual contributors perform really well. They execute, they get things done, and then they get recognition that they are ready for the next step. Well, the next step is very different than the step that they came from. So individual contributors are known for getting things done. They have a to-do list. They check off that to-do list and everything's amazing. But when you're a manager, you can no longer be the person with the same to-do list. And I like to tell people when they become a manager or a leader of people, your to-do list is no longer the same. So you used to have a to-do list that you would check off the boxes for all the tasks and activities and different things that you were doing every day. And so you felt very accomplished and you got rewarded for that. But as a manager of people, it's a different to-do list. The to-do list becomes a to-think list, a to-strategize list, a to-plan list, a to-develop my people list. It's a very different model. And for those who have experienced this, it feels very uncomfortable because your calendar might look different. You might not be going to all the meetings that you used to go to. You might need to delegate and send your team to those meetings instead. And delegation means that you have to put your trust in other people to do things. You are no longer the doer. Other people are doing things to support the team and to make sure that everything gets done. So that's where the uncomfortable feeling is, that you've just never had to let go and allow other people to do things because they may do them different than you do. They may have a different approach. They may actually do them better than you. So that's the part I want you to hold on to. They might actually do them better than you do, and you might learn from them, just like they're going to learn from you. Now, the transition is a big one, and it all starts with mindset. It starts with believing that you are now a leader of people. You are no longer the person who does everything. And so to be able to do this successfully, you have to change your mindset. And I remember when I went through this myself, I was an individual contributor with a manager title. So I was still doing all the things, but I had the manager title, and my team was expecting me to make decisions and set a vision and figure out what we were going to be working on. That was a big shift for me. And so when I became a manager, I had an idea of what a manager would look like. It's a person who makes decisions and has all the answers and has a vision and wants to help people grow and develop. What I had to recognize is that I didn't have to make every decision. I had a team to help me make decisions, and I didn't have to be the one who did all the work anymore. And I had to let that go. So being a manager means you have to start letting go of the things that you're used to doing. It allows you to build your team and develop them so that they can become future leaders. It allows you to influence more people so that you can sell your ideas and to move projects along and help get your team opportunities to get exposure. I had to learn that I didn't need to have all the answers or that I needed to make all the decisions by myself. It's allowing them to shine a bit more too. It's allowing them to problem solve and come up with the answers. I didn't have to do all that by myself. And when I went through that moment of, oh my gosh, this is amazing, such a relief. I didn't realize how much pressure I had put on myself. My calendar was more wide open. I had opportunities to spend time with my team. I had opportunities to meet with other people in the organization and understand what was happening. I had time to think and plan and strategize, all those things that I never took the time to do before. A wise person, Mary Beckfield, who used to be my manager and is now a great friend and has been on the podcast, told me that if you're not thinking about your team, no one else is. You need to create a vision and a strategy that lets people know that this group matters, that this group is important. And those were things that I really had to understand and learn how to do because I didn't know how to do them in the beginning, because I think it's so important for us to know that there are a lot of mentors and coaches and people out there that want to help. It's okay to say, I've never built an organizational strategy. I've never done a department strategy. I've never done a business case before. It's okay to say that you've never done it before and get help, because you're going to get better faster if you ask for help. And that was one thing that I wish I would have learned that lesson sooner. I think there was a lot of opportunities for me to do it sooner, but once you learn it, it's the right time for you. That's how I look at it. So we talked about individual contributor to manager. And now there's the jump from manager to director. And that's a pretty big jump as well. But as a director, you're managing managers. Now you're helping to lead an entire department. And that is a bigger deal because your managers need to be developed so that they can help their teams grow. And you need to oversee what is happening in the entire group. So you become much more strategic in a director level. And your role, again, shifts a bit to focus on who are you meeting with on a bigger scale. You might meet with people who are higher in the organization to share your vision, to talk about what they're doing, to make sure that you're removing obstacles for your team so that they can keep doing what they need to do. But again, your role is to make sure you're building future leaders. If you have managers under you that have never led before, they may be in the same position you were in when you became a manager. So how can you make sure that they can keep growing and developing and doing the same for their own team members? The biggest thing for me when I became a director was the strategy expectations are just a lot higher. So sometimes as a director, you are also talking about the future of your group and where it's going. And that means influencing other people, getting in front of them, talking about the strategy that you have, the vision that you have, why you may need to make changes. And that can be a bit scary if you've never done it before, but you're going to get used to it because the more you do it, it just becomes much easier. But again, ask for help. Have other people review what you're putting together to get feedback, to make sure that you have some friends in the room when you're presenting, and it allows you to just have a whole different experience that way. So now let's take it from moving from a director to either a senior director or VP. Depending on your organization, you may not have senior directors. Not all companies do. But this is, again, another big jump. You have to be more visible because the expectations on you are greater. They expect you to be thinking big and have a lot of thought leadership on where things are going in the company, to be able to take a strategy and turn it into goals, to be able to take your entire team and motivate them and inspire them to move things forward. With each of these, it's a mindset shift first, and then you settle in and recognize that it's just new. It's just something new that you're trying, and it doesn't mean that you can't succeed at it. You can absolutely do this. You're going to succeed. It just takes time to feel more comfortable, right? So recognize that whenever you go to the next level, it's a new first for you. It's a new first to become a manager. It's a new first to become a director. It's a new first to become a senior director or VP. And each one of those levels has different expectations, different competencies that may be needed, a different level of communication and expectation around strategy, and that you are influencing ideas and helping your group stand out. You may also be responsible for more financial management as you go to a director and VP. You might have a P&L to manage, a profit and loss. You might have other things that you're managing like vendors, outside contractors. You might have consultants that come in, and you have to make decisions on who to bring in, when to bring them in, and do you have the budget to cover all of that? So the expectations of you understanding financial management grow as you climb the ladder, and you're still expected to make sure that you're managing a team, because as a VP, now you may be managing directors who are managing managers who are managing their people. Are you spending your time on the right things, or are you at times getting pulled into things that your directors should be doing or that your managers should be doing? That becomes really easy. And do you know why? Because it's comfortable for you. It feels easier. It doesn't feel scary, and you know the answers. How much of your time should be spent on that? Is it more to guide and coach the people below you, or is it to go in and try to save them? And sometimes you might tell yourself a story that says, I'm just going to go help them. If you're doing too much, you might get stuck there. And then your management saying, why are you involved in that again? Don't you have a team to do that? So you do have to be mindful of your image. And are you spending time on the right things? Because everybody starts to watch even more as you climb the ladder. You do have to be mindful of that because your visibility level is higher, the expectations are higher, and everyone's looking to you to be able to lead your team, not to be the doer, but to lead your team to do the work and to get great things accomplished. So we've talked about some of the jumps in the middle management space where you are a manager to maybe even a senior manager. I didn't talk about that, but sometimes there's senior manager roles, director, senior director, VP. That is considered middle management for the most part, depending on the size of your company. But then you have the next levels, which are senior VP, executive VP. You might have a president of the company, have a CEO. You might also have a board to report to. And again, those are levels that just require you to really level up on your visibility, your strategy, your influence, your communication, being able to do that at those higher levels while you are continuing to ensure that work is happening below. You are demonstrating thought leadership and influence and executive presence and making those decisions that need to be made, that may be difficult, but need to be made in order to move the business forward. Because the pressure on the senior leaders about the success of the business is much greater. You're responsible potentially for revenue delivery or a P&L or saving money. And all of that requires a lot of thought to ensure that it's successful, to make sure you have the right team members in place, to make sure that you have enough funding in place to support it. And there is going to be hard decisions at any level. But at those levels, the amount of stress is huge. So we've talked a lot about all of the different levels and some of the expectations at each of those levels. But again, it all starts with how you see yourself first. You can't really step into a bigger role until you start to see that it's possible for you. And I really didn't think about what kind of leader do I want to be? How do I want to be perceived as a leader? What are things that are important for me to share with others? I didn't spend time really thinking about that. So as you move to each level, I would love for you to think about, how do you want to be perceived as a leader at this level? How much visibility am I going to need? What kind of exposure do I need? What do I want my personal brand to be? How do I want to be perceived in this organization? What are things I want to be known for now? Because that changes too over time, right? As you climb the ladder, you will have different things that you're known for. You will be known for leading an entire group or department versus leading a small team. That changes how you have to show up, which means you need to think of yourself in a different way. So I want to share a few of my favorite books when it comes to leadership and some of the older ones that I used and one new one. The first is Marshall Goldsmith's What Got You Here Won't Get You There. That book was really pivotal for me to start to shift my mindset from I am the person who does everything, and now I am the person who gets things done through others. And that took me a little bit of time to transition for that. So I think that book is an amazing way for you to start thinking about that differently. I love Brené Brown's Dare to Lead. I think her book was really great and gave me a lot of insights. Of course, if you're looking for visibility, my books will definitely help you with that. And the last one is from a new friend, Deborah Nash, who wrote Level Up Your Leadership. And she did a 2-part episode on the podcast. And I have been really impressed with just how she thought about it and how carefully she put this together to help leaders really be in a place where they can level up to the next step, whatever that is. and know that they can do it using her frameworks and the terminology that she uses and the ideas and coaching that she shares. I really did find it to be so beneficial and wished I would have had it way back when. I think it would have been so helpful for me to be able to do things in a different way, but it will now be able to help you. And that's the important thing. So I hope this gave you some new insights. There was a lot of different things that we talked about. I would have you just start to think about this for yourself. And if you are moving to another level, or if you have moved, are you thinking about the things that you need to be focused on? Or are you still trying to be in that old comfort zone, which may feel safer, but may not help you grow as much as you could? Thanks so much for joining today on the Visibility Factor podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much for listening to the Visibility Factor podcast. Remember that visibility starts with small steps that are intentional and consistent each day. Be bold, be visible, be the leader you were meant to be. Find us and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, which are highlighted in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Visibility Factor podcast.